All right. Topic 3. I'll hand the mic over to Andrew.
How do we go into this? Oh God. Oh man. Yeah. Where have I been? Where have I been the past 3 months? I guess I'll start off with trying to answer that. I mean, sort of the forward-facing answer that we gave as to my absence from both Truly Daebak and DaebakCast and everything. And original plan was I was supposed to be the host of Queendom Cast. I was the one sort of the catalyst behind that, but yeah, it ended up that Nate and Sam and Jakari had to carry the torch for me while I was gone. So again, I thank you guys for sort of keeping that alive.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of fun, and even though I didn't get to finish the show, I guess to put it plainly, on September 17th, I tried to take my life. There's just been a lot of I don't know, just a lot of factors and stress and things just that were going on that I wanted out, basically. To sort of just put it simply, I'm sorry that if I didn't, if it seemed like we were lying or, we were being intentionally vague as to why I was gone, but I just didn't want to sort of put it out there until I was, ready or just comfortable to sort of talk about it. I mean, there's a lot. I guess sort of the main factors were there's just a lot of stress going on with my my work situation. So a lot of you know that I work as a shoe designer. I design shoes for a bunch of different brands, such as like Rockaware. I did stuff for members only. That's sort of been my dream job, quote unquote, ever since I applied back all the way in like 2011. And I've been working in the same office ever since 2015. I started there as an intern, and I'd been working there so this year, so about like 4 or 5 years almost, pretty much. In retrospect, it probably wasn't a good idea for me to stay there so long, just because the circumstances that sort of brought me to there just sort of, I don't know, there's just a lot that I probably should have let go of. I really don't like putting too much out there, but yeah, I got that job because my girlfriend at the time was interning there, so we ended up working there. We ended up breaking up, and I had to endure something like 4 months of just being in the same space as somebody that made me want to end my life. She's I guess that's where the crux of it, where all of this comes, I guess, is just like having to deal with a really shitty breakup. It's what sort of took my depression and suicide struggle with that to a completely different level. And I guess I've been managing it pretty well, and I mean to some degree I still manage it pretty well compared to other people, but I guess even I have my upper limits when it comes to what I can handle. There's just a lot of being a shoe designer. It's not a 9 to 5 job. It's more like a 9 to 8 job. In all honesty, like you have to work a lot of long hours, especially for the company I was working for was very tiny. It was just me and another designer, and we were handling multiple designs and multiple things. Like you had to wear many hats. It wasn't just me designing shoes. I was doing photography. I was doing like the model for the shoes. I'm the one like doing like all the corrections. I'm the one talking to the factories in China. I'm the one that has to do like all the marketing or just like the sort of marketing material and everything. So it's just the workload is incredibly just I can't do that on my own, unfortunately. So Nate, you had to ask.
Well, plus I was saying, plus you were there as an independent contractor, which means you're a lot more like you basically have to. You don't have the job security that a normal like full-time employee has.
Yeah, I mean, this might be a bit too adult for a lot of listeners, but I mean, like, if you ever get hired as an independent contractor and you're not allowed to work anywhere else, you're not an independent contractor. You're an employee.
Yeah,
you're an employee
also
without benefits.
Don't be hired as an independent contractor if you can avoid it at all costs. Basically,
That's
just raw end of the stick, no matter what you like it.
Yeah, just in terms of taxes, I have to pay so much in taxes. I have to manage
your own health care.
Yeah, I did that.
All that stuff.
The whole thing is just
I got kicked off my kicked off my healthcare come September, literally the day that I was sort of I contemplated suicide was the day I got kicked off my healthcare, because you have a month after your birthday to find one, but I'd been searching for other jobs, and at that point I just sort of like gave up hope because no one was really talking to me at that point. But I lost contact with who I ended up being getting hired by. But I'll get later in that story. It wasn't just work related stress too. It's just, I guess it is work related stress because we only have like however many subscribers, but I mean, like, the amount of effort I've put into truly Daebak is probably more than what some rational normal person should be putting into for a YouTube channel. This basically just sort of became a second job to me. I'd get home at around 8 o'clock some days, and I'd have to go straight into editing or doing research, especially with stuff like TDA, Truly Daebak Awards, or monthly releases. There's just a lot, or trying to, if there's a research topic that we have to do, there's a lot that there's a lot that goes into this, more than just three people just talking in front of a camera. I mean, as much as I want it to be like that, I don't know, I feel the need to sort of come to you guys informed, because I don't want to be ill-prepared for anything. I mean, if you judge by Twitter, some people are like, oh, you guys don't know anything. But I mean, there's a lot that goes into the preparation and like sort of the management of this, and it's just, my workload wasn't sustainable. I was, I'm the one editing, I'm the one sort of doing all this stuff. I have to, I'm thinking of like 5 billion different show ideas all at the same time, and it's very hard to do that. It's hard to do that with a regular full-time job. It's nigh impossible to do that with the field, the field that I'm in. So it's just, I don't know, it's just all of these emotions just sort of, just hit me all at once, where I was just stuck in this shitty job where, they weren't, I mean, there was nothing too crazy. It's just like one time, like I did like a really bad argument or something happened with a supervisor of mine, and it just made me feel, it made me feel worthless as a human being, and I never want to feel like that ever again.
On top of a shitty work situation, you had a shitty boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not trying to air dirty laundry out there. It's just, that's just sort of it's the work environment there was not sustainable, or at least wasn't sustainable for my mental health, because there'd just be arguments constantly. And sort of it's, you have a lot, I'm expected a lot, but my input sort of didn't matter, or it's just taken for granted to some degree. And just on top of that, it's just really hard to run this thing and not really see direct results with like YouTube. It's like, it's very hard to run a YouTube channel. It's a lot of a time investment for very little, at least immediate results. We've been doing this for close to 4 years now, and I'm happy with the community that we're sort of building, but I feel it just, sometimes it feels like, oh, why aren't we growing? Why aren't we reaching what I feel we could reach, or what I want to reach? It's just, like I told you guys in the chat, like, it's, we're playing this on hard mode from the beginning by not doing clickbait or reactions, or we're not trying to
is privileged.
We're not trying to we're not trying to kiss everyone's ass when it comes to fandoms or reviews. It's just it's there's just something about the type of person that, or like, I guess sort of the age of K-pop fans, that they're not going to be attracted to that sort of thing, everyone. I mean,
Yeah,
just in general with the internet, everyone is guilty of confirmation bias. Like the only people that'll listen to when we have a positive review, everyone's like, "Oh my God, why aren't you more popular?" and everything. Like, "Oh, more people you should be listening to you," because we're affirming their opinions about such and such group. But when we're when we're completely destroying something, it's like, "Oh, you guys don't know anything. You're just two white guys and some like non-Korean dude. What do you guys know about K-pop or whatever?" So it's just that's why I say we're playing on hard mode, because we're purposefully sort of like cutting off like part of our reach in that sort of way. But I mean, I still want to make it work, because at least personally for me, like I wouldn't be able to live myself if I just became a shill for K-pop. I mean, it must be nice to get like brand deals and everything all the time, but it's having no personal integrity when it comes to like what you believe or what you're putting out there would just it destroy me just as much as anything else that's sort of been stressing me out these days.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm like most proud of, or at least my objective with like doing this kind of thing is like we've kind of created a not a platform, but like some sort of way to express ourselves or put our opinions out there, kind of have, I don't know, at least somewhat intelligent discussion on something that isn't usually discussed in super detail. Yeah. And I think
most K-pop is just really it's like either you love it or it's trash, or like there's I think from the start, from the start, I think we wanted to have something that was more than surface level, at least in terms of our appreciation for K-pop, or our like what we cover with K-pop or anything with music. Really, it's just, it's not easy. It's not easy. Not everyone wants this type of thing.
And that's why I'm so I'm so like proud of the, like, it's small but like I guess close-knit like community that we've built from it, because by not just doing what the masses want to hear, we ended up meeting so many people who are like us, if that makes sense. So that's the biggest like thing that I guess appreciate from doing all of this, I guess, is just the connections.
It's like like you were saying, Andrew, like we're making the content we want to make, not the content that'll get us the most views.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we also we're doing it in a format that is not conducive to the type of people that we are making content for. Because most K-pop fans don't listen to long form podcasts. And then we're also, like you were saying, we're not just doing what will get us the most views, but because of that, we've been able to find this awesome group of people, like Jacob was saying, that like, sure, we're growing very slowly, and it's slowed down this year for sure. But I think like we got to be proud of what we have accomplished. Because we've stuck to what we wanted to do, and we haven't like compromised our integrity.
I think basically we're reaching the types of people we want to reach. Maybe not all of them yet, but like, I think it's a good thing.
It's hard to find those people. There's not very many of them.
Like, I think it was like a random like drop in the bucket moment that we even met each other, because like before I started talking to you guys, I didn't know anyone who like listened to K-pop or liked K-pop. I literally had no one to talk to about it. So it's I mean, other than the people I had met in Korea, and they didn't really like. It was varying degrees of how much they liked K-pop. All the people I knew were less into it than me in Korea.
Well, yeah.
So it's a thing.
Yeah, just sometimes I forget that.
It's not easy to remember.
I forget that, and
sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely something that goes across, both my, YouTube career, quote unquote, and my, my work career and sort of thing, is where, yeah, it definitely comes with the territory with, dealing with depression, where I feel like, like none of the stuff that I do really makes an impact or makes a difference or even matters. And, that's really, I guess that's really all I want out of this. I don't want to be famous. If I was ever famous, I might end up killing myself because I wouldn't be able to, deal with,
scrutiny. The stuff that comes along with that.
I mean, like the scrutiny.
Well,
I guess
scrutiny. There's pressure. There's a lot of things.
Just the sheer, just like having being under that microscope. I wouldn't be able to, even to this degree. I get caught up in, people that are like, oh, nothing about K-pop or whatever, or in work where it's like people are saying that you're not doing what you're supposed to be, or the level of work you're supposed to be doing. I don't know. It's just really hard. I'm definitely one person that has imposter syndrome, where I just feel like I'm not doing good enough, and it's hard not to compare yourself to other people in anything with life. Like,
definitely.
Is I'm just deleting so many fucking people off of social media because it's all fake. All of it's just fake bullshit where people are just like, hey, I'm on my vacation. It's like, like everyone's just doing all this stuff, but like,
they don't post when they're depressed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
post when they have a shitty day at work.
I'm not gonna go post on IG. Had a shitty day at work, wanted to kill myself. Like my
exactly.
my thing. Like,
yeah, you're posting when you're in Japan and you're having a great time and you're going out to dinner with friends and like people only post the best parts of themselves, so you can't ever compare yourself to those people. It's just an incredibly dangerous sort of mentality that I'm learning. I all of this is a learning experience. Ultimately, I thought I was good, but I mean, sometimes that's really depression in a nutshell. Is 90% of it is convincing yourself, or like 50% of it is convincing yourself you're okay when you're not okay, and the other 50% of it is convincing yourself you're not okay when you're really okay. Because like it's really like you're really just like at war with yourself, and like for years I was just convincing myself I can handle this. I can handle both doing a YouTube channel and doing a really intense work job, because I thought I love this. I love what I'm doing when I was designing shoes. I love what I'm doing when it comes to doing stuff for YouTube. I've been wanting to do YouTube for a long time, and I'm glad I have this opportunity. It's just it was killing me. It really was killing me.
The thing you have to hold on to is the fact that so the things on social media, it's all fake bullshit, right? I like to remind myself of is through doing this, we are connecting with real people.
Yeah.
These are like not just randos who leave a comment and then never talk again. Like, we're literally like meeting people, affecting people, and I don't know. That's just what I feel like that's something that actually does matter, I guess. If that makes sense.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, next time you think what you do doesn't matter, just look at Discord. Like, we have a good 30-40 people that are there every day talking to each other, like becoming friends, doing fun stuff like song ratings and fantasy leagues and Discord or discography listens, and just chatting about literally everything. And those people are there every day because it's a fun, awesome community to be part of, and that wouldn't exist without the work you did, or the work Jacob did, or the work I did. Like, if you don't think the stuff you did mattered, like, those people do think the stuff you did mattered.
It's just hard. It's just hard to sort
of...
it's
really
hard.
Hard.
And I guess I just didn't... I have a really bad habit of just sort of like letting things bottle up, or letting things bottle up until it really just... I guess it's just sort of the crux of it was I had that girl where I'd sort of your girlfriend confide in them and everything, and it's sort of, to a lot of people, having depression isn't cool or manly, or saying that you think that you're not good enough or that you want to kill yourself isn't manly enough for them or just good enough for them. So
That's
them
just bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
So.
I know,
Well,
but like I realize that now. But like
toxic.
just like having.
I know
having,
you realize it. I'm just saying like.
Yeah.
For other people listening.
Like having the one person that I wanted to confide everything into say that it's just you're just not like inspiring enough of a human being is sort of made me put up a wall and not want to share. I didn't want to seem vulnerable, especially on camera. I don't want to, especially with like I there's a lot of younger people in our community, and I don't want to.
It's a bad example.
Not that I don't want to set a bad example. It's just it's like having I'm the youngest in my family, but I mean there's still like it's like having younger siblings. You don't want them to see you fail, or you don't want them to see you fall, because it's like when you're a kid, you see your dad or your mom, they're invincible and like they can do no wrong, and once that sort of illusion is shattered, you just don't want people to have change opinions on you because of stuff like this, and it's
but I think talking about this stuff is good because it sets a good example for those people that they shouldn't bottle it up either.
Yeah, and especially
like it's okay to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, and
I know for me at least, talking like has been really helping because this semester's been really, really stressful for me. Like I also I usually don't like talking about this sort of stuff with people because I feel like it's like, I don't know, it can seem like I'm just I need attention or something like that, or I'm just complaining, or where that's not the case. I'm trying to just like ignore that entire idea and just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just been helping having someone else's, like a voice of reason that's not hopped up on emotion at the moment, because like, at least for me, when I make decisions, I try to keep emotion out of it for the most part, just because I feel like it, in my experience, it usually creates problems when I do that. So, when it's too difficult to do that, and I could tell that, I need someone to tell me like, hey, stop being stupid. Stop thinking stupid things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess it's just you gotta, I guess, somehow convince yourself that the way you're thinking is not rational and not logical.
I mean, it's, I guess, to sort of just go into like my changes. I mean, I sort of made myself a promise that I wouldn't come back to Discord unless I found a position elsewhere, and that's why I'm back. I was Friday was my last day at my previous job, and in a week or two I start my new life at Kenneth Cole. It's like it seems like a good job, and they'll take care of me. But not just that, it's just when they offered me the job, they said that I was the one that they were rooting for the whole time, when I had when I felt like in my previous job, like the whole time I felt like I was worthless, and like none of the work I did mattered, and like I wasn't seeing any results, or that I felt I was just stressed out of my mind that they were gonna fire me because I wasn't good enough. It felt so validating that somebody
like,
was
what
willing
that means is what that means is like, well, I guess what I'm getting at, but I'll let you talk again. Like I guess what that means to me at least is that what you were doing did matter like the entire time, right?
Oh yeah, your like, company took you for granted.
Someone at another company like looked at that and like, wow, this is really great work. Like, it's
and just
I think
just this whole time.
Remember that like always.
Yeah, it's just this whole time you just second guess. Well, yeah, it's a lot of it's just second guessing and just forgetting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just sometimes even with like my personal life, I just I only really like there are people that seem like social butterflies that like do shit all the time, where I'm just like I want to go home and play video games or just sleep, and I feel I sometimes I feel like I'm not good enough I'm not doing good enough at life because I only really I only really have like one or two close friends that I see in person all the time, and I guess it's just at this point I've just sort of been seeing the value, or just sort of recognize the value of just having good people in your life, not just a lot of people, because there's just a lot of people I really don't care about in my life anymore. As bad as that sounds, but vice versa. Vice versa, they don't care about me either. So why am
exactly. If they don't,
exactly.
Yeah, it's just I'm. The people that are in my life are the reason why I'm still here today talking about it. 3 months later. If I didn't have you guys, if I didn't have Sam or Baron or everyone else in the mod team or Cooper and it took me before my Japan trip is when I first contacted Egg and Stu, also known as Vinny and Jack, two people I probably consider some of my closest friends. And when I told them this, they when I talked to Jack, he said he thought he'd never hear from me again. And it just sort of hit like, why am I feeling like nobody cares when people are when me just showing up or me doing this, helps someone else, with their day or helps them feel better. Why am I feeling so worthless? So, I have all those people to thank for why I'm still alive right now.
Yep. You have to always remember the people that, I don't know, care about you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because even if people think there aren't any, there always is. There's always somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Always.
Even if it doesn't seem like there are.
And I'm not trying to make this a sob story, or I'm not trying to get sympathy or whatever from, crying here on episode 142. It's just really...
It's not the first time we've cried on camera before, so...
And...
I guess that's, if anything, shows we don't really care what people think at this point.
No, it's just...
And that we're not BSing it for likes or
we lost
views.
We lost Jonghyun 2 years ago. We lost Sully. We lost Guhara. We lost a lot of people this year. Etika. We lost so many people to suicide and, just depression and, all this sort of stuff. Maybe I'm thinking, maybe if I have no shame anymore about admitting that I deal with this stuff. I have no shame, period. I literally can't have the concept of shame just went out the window once I started reading BTS smut fan fiction. Like, nothing else can be more embarrassing than reading that. So
one of the worst.
I forgot we did that.
So me talking about my depression and the fact that I almost committed suicide is, I feel no shame in discussing that, and maybe just talking about this helps someone out. Like, I don't, I know our reach is only like a handful of people, but if there's even one person I can help by just saying like, look, I'm here, I'm trying to improve. There's going to be times that in the future where I might, contemplate killing myself again. But, I hope I never work up the courage for that to ever come to pass. I mean, I've been dealing with this since high school. I've been dealing with this for almost my entire adult life, and it's always going to be with me. It's like I was talking in our Discord yesterday about sort of just how you deal with depression. It's not like a cold or I don't know, just like having muscle sores or something that goes away and then you just never deal with it again. It's like allergies. It comes back and you have to manage it.
You can't let it build up.
Yeah, I've sort of, it took me a while to realize. For the longest time, I was like, I want to get over my depression. I don't want to ever feel depressed ever again. But that's impossible. There's just something about, the way I am that I'm going to have to manage this for the rest of my life. And I feel, maybe for the first time in my life, I feel capable of managing that. Not on my own, because for one, once my insurance kicks in,
I have to do it on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to. I didn't want to tell anyone for so long, just because I felt like putting that emotional burden onto other people would just, destroy them, or, it'd just be too much to handle. If I can't handle it on my own, what the
No,
I've just,
I think
I destroyed a friendship or relationship with just how I've been dealing with depression. So I was afraid of doing that again.
If that's
I'll put
not
it
a
this
real
way.
friendship or a real relationship.
Yeah. I've realized that. Yeah, if they can't sort of help you manage. I mean, like, I don't expect you guys to diagnose me with anything or whatever. None of us are doctors, but if a friend isn't willing to be there for you, you probably need to cut them out of your life. Because I mean, if it's something small like needing help with something, or
just
something
to talk
like this.
to someone like that's
Yeah,
it's like
there's no.
you should always be able to rely on your friends as long as you don't take them for granted.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't take anyone for granted. If anything, I probably do way too much for other people, and I get taken advantage of. That's my biggest character flaw. Is I probably give too much, and yeah.
And the other thing is, like, there's no shame in getting help or asking for help, and not just from friends. Like, get professional help if you like.
Yeah, that's the.
There's nothing wrong with that. I feel like even like perfectly mentally healthy people should probably go to therapy every once in a while. Like,
that's
nobody has issues
thing
that they can't talk about or shouldn't talk about.
And I guess I could just sort of make this my New Year's resolution, or just sort of put it out there so I hold myself accountable to it. But yeah, come 2020, once my insurance kicks in, I plan on going to therapy, or at least that's the plan. Hopefully I can afford it. But yeah, I think it's overdue. And I mean, I don't know if I need medication or not, or whatever. That might be it might be a likelihood. But I mean, it's time I stop trying to.
There's no
shame.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I just it's time I stop trying to manage this on my own, because I can there's only so much I can handle on my plate before I just push myself to the limit, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to put anyone else through. I don't want to put you guys through that. I don't want to put our audience through that. I don't want to put my friends through that. My friends, my friend Kim and my friend Javon have really been there for me since day one. They're trying to talk me out of it too, and there's just so many people that I'm blessed to have and sort of lucky to have that give me perspective on my life when I can't really be objective about it, or sort of look at it from the big picture. When I'm when I feel like I want to end my life, or that it's not going well, or that I'm not doing enough as a human being. They're always, you guys are always there to sort of give me that perspective, and I thank you for that. And I can say, I love you guys so much for everything that you guys have done, and I just my perspective on life has just really been shaken over the past few months, especially this past week. My best friend from childhood passed away. He was my age. He was 26. I really don't know exactly but the details, but it really hit me hard that I'm sort of getting to that age where I see old friends and family at funerals and stuff like that, and losing someone that I lost contact with, it just really hurt me. And especially when I had so many good memories with him, and my childhood was pretty much, we were attached at the hip. I have just so many good memories of just playing like Need for Speed Underground, or like Yu-Gi-Oh, or all these stupid things that I sort of like look back on fondly. They were with Brian Basara, my best friend, and it just what sort of hit me the hardest is why am I so down in the dumps and want to end my life when he won't have a chance to grow up. He won't have a chance to have a family or have kids or achieve his dreams. So I just really don't want to waste my life anymore. I want to grow old. I want to be happy. I want to have kids. I want to, find the love of my life. I want to have all these things because I'd be doing a disservice to him if I didn't live my life to the fullest at this point. I can't afford to waste what time I have here. So, it just really sort of put things into perspective with, just what really matters in life. Because a lot of the stuff that we care about really is it's all bullshit. So I get that's really, I guess that's growing older. Though you start to realize, what really matters in life, and it's you guys. It's how much you care about me. It's what you guys do for me every day. That's all that matters in my life. And everything else is unnecessary. So
yeah,
thank you, and I love you guys. Oh, before I close out this topic, I forgot to mention, my friend was a really big, my best friend Brian Bassara was a really big fan of, cars. He was, really big into automotive, and we'd play. I left my own copy of Gran Turismo 3 on PS2, at his bedside, when I saw him for the last time. His family is, or specifically his brother, is starting a GoFundMe to finish. He had a project car, like a Honda Civic, that he was working on before until his death, and in his memory, they'd like to finish it. So they started a GoFundMe. I'll put the link in the description for the GoFundMe. But I mean, they need to raise about $5,000. They're only at about $500. So there's a long way to go. So if there's anything you can do to help, it doesn't need to be that big of a contribution. Even like $5 would help out. Just something that would honor him and give his family peace of mind. And I definitely appreciate it as well, as someone that I really cared about in life, to sort of leave a lasting memory of him. So I'll leave the link to the GoFundMe in his description, and in this description, and thank you for your generosity if you do end up donating.